Hey guys, welcome back to the studios here at Center Target Firearms and Indoor Range. I'm Bret. Joe's on the end, and we got a special guest, Sam, with us today, and we're talking the newest addition to Glock, which has been around for a little bit, but for consumer sales, it's new.
Yeah, so the Glock 47, right?
Glock 47.
And you guys, Joe, especially in corrections, you work in corrections all those years. This is, and Sam even said this a little while ago that this is what people wanted from Glock to begin with, and I think it's perfect size for a duty gun.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what, the Glock 17.
Yeah, it's
I
basically a
mean,
Glock 47 long slide or a 17 as far as the actual size
Yeah.
dimensions. But originally, the 47, I guess why that's actually on the market now, the 47, if you take the slide off of that and you put that on 19 frame, that's what the community wanted when the 19X and the Glock 45
Oh yeah,
actually hit the market. And so now Glock has answered what everybody initially thought they wanted. I think the 19X and the 45 has been a hot seller
yeah,
since the
yeah.
pandemic and all the
Oh yeah.
unrest.
And Joe, you would have to, I guess you would agree with this that Glock, they haven't changed in years. They're the same thing. They run though. They run. They're proven they run, but not much innovation with them since the get go.
no, I mean they're changing some things up here lately. They're
Yeah.
you know coming with this MOS now pretty much frequently. That's becoming the market thing. But I mean, it's still a Glock. It's a Glock. When we shot on the range, I think you asked me what I thought about it. I said it's a
Yeah.
Glock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's a good thing. It's a Glock. It's a good thing because a Glock is a great pistol. Um, but it's still a Glock.
It is, and the marketplace for Glocks is just crazy. Buying different things for them, whether you want to change the barrels out to something pretty or anything. You have a lot of options with Glock, and some of the other gun lines don't. But at the end of the day, it runs. It's a Glock. My my thinking is, I shot this before you guys did, and when I shot it, I took my 19 out that I carry, shot it, then shot the 47 again, then shot my 19 again. I really couldn't tell a difference in. I mean, it shoots really well. It's a Glock, so it's going to shoot well, but I couldn't tell the difference of what they're going for.
Yeah, even if you put a standard size pistol, like a 17 size pistol, on a chronograph, and you compare it to say a Glock 19 or a Glock 34, that small difference in barrel length is still not going to show much, especially in the time when quality control with ammo is a little bit limited. Now, if you were shooting match quality ammo over chronograph, you might see 10, 15 feet per second difference, but
Yeah,
it's a very minute amount. So yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I don't know how much you would see between a 43 and a 47. I mean, it's probably going to be a very small amount of difference over a chronograph.
and like we said, they run. Glocks run. You can beat them to death, and they'll run.
Yep.
And I know Joe's our local trigger snob, and I know, which is a good thing because he knows the triggers, and it's got the same Glock trigger. But all in all, I mean, it runs. So that's at the end of the day, that's what counts.
I can't say much. I mean, for me to shoot a pistol, I have to set a pistol up to me. And so I'm a trigger snob too. I like to have my
Yeah,
own
sure.
sights, and I mean, for pure accuracy purposes, you need to set it up to you. And that's something that I would have to do with a 47. I do think that they've answered what that pistol was designed for. I do think they give the market that, and there's a lot of people left still wanting. I think it goes back to originally when Glock started. Glock was pretty perfect at its design. And Glock is a force multiplier still today because if you take a Glock 26 or 27, highly, likable still today, you can jam bigger mags into those. A lot of your PC9s, they all use Glock mags. So Glock is still, it's innovative. It's just not necessarily in their pistol line.
Yeah.
They continue to make subtle changes, but it's very subtle.
Well, and when you've got a winning combination, you kind of stick with
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
So we do have. By the way, we didn't mention it when we started out. We should have, and I apologize if we didn't. All these guns have been checked. We've thoroughly safety checked these pistols. What we have here is a 17, a regular 17, and a 19. And so just to kind of give you a comparison, know, I mean, again, it's a Glock.
Yeah, not much difference. Um, you know, still you have the serrations. I love the front serrations that they're putting on the Gen 5s, and I think
I just like the Gen 5s.
If I'm
yeah,
not
yeah, I
mistaken,
do too.
Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, Brett, you may know the answer to this too, but the 47, was that not a government contract pistol? I mean, wasn't there one of the law
Was.
enforcement agencies that wanted that?
I believe it was, but I can't off the top of my head remember what
I may be
agency it
wrong,
was.
so don't quote me on
Yeah,
this, but I do think the Border Patrol was the agency that
could have
wanted
been.
that. They
Could have
wanted the
been.
ability to change up the slide frame combo, and that was another reason why that firearm, I think, hit the industry.
Yeah,
But
and
dimensionally, it's the same pretty much as a 17. I mean, it's a 45 lower with a 17. Uh, you know, it's basically, like I said, it's basically a 45 long.
yeah,
And I mean, I do think that there is a large market of people that originally requested this. If you go to conceal carrying something with a longer slide, some people say it makes them a lot more shootable. But it is going to be harder to conceal carry that in comparison to a Glock
sure,
19 or something. In my personal opinion, I would rather have a little bit shorter barrel
sure.
Yeah. Well,
for that
and of
purpose.
course, it's all a matter of preference.
It is
When you get into this level, it's preference.
exactly.
But now the gun is very well optioned. I mean, it's got optic cut,
Yeah.
17 rounds. I mean, it's a nice pistol. It shoots good.
I like where the serrations are, just like with the Gen 5s, all the Gen 5s. It got the Glock sights, which you may or may not want to change. I changed mine.
do
I
too.
change them out. I think a lot of people do because there's just so much out there. And that's one thing with Glock. You have so many options that you can work with, from triggers to the sights. Now optics with the MOS cuts. So I mean, you have a lot to choose from.
I like to tell people Glock is the AR-15 of the pistol world. You've
Well,
got
that's true.
thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of parts. You can spend as much money as you want to updating one or tailoring it to you. And like I said, I've got one, that I shoot competition with every now and then. It looks like I'm some kind of space pistol.
Yeah.
Because it's got a gas pedal on the side. Sights are different. It's got a red dot. It's just a totally different looking firearm. And Glock at its inception, it's in line with the John Moses Brown in 1911, Eugene Stoner AR-15. Mike Walker created the trigger mechanism for the
Sure.
modern day Remington 700, and Gaston Glock, when they created that, they created a striker pistol revolution, is what they did. And now it leaves most of the civilian market still wanting, because everybody makes the joke about going away from and back to the finger grooves.
Yeah.
From generation to generation. And like I said, at the end of the day, a Glock, it's designed to function. It's designed to be relatively accurate. And, even some of these local competitions you guys have had, I'm pretty sure, I think it was Justin Foreman, he shot like a 94 or something on a competition on a Glock, which is comparable to, like guys like Alan Markham and different people shooting 95s, 96s with CZs. And, it's a very, if you master the firearm, I'm sure it's very, very capable.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd limit myself to about 15 yards normally with them.
But
Well-
I mean, but that's its wheelhouse.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, that's its wheelhouse. It was the law enforcement market was the original market for Glock, and so it's still a strong market for Glock, and so it's still geared for that market, even in the civilian versions. And so as a combat firearm, it's phenomenal. It's outstanding.
Yeah. And they just, like you say, Joe, they run, they last. You beat them to death, and they'll continue to run. So at the end of the day, I like Glock. I mean, I have Glocks, and even for people who don't use a lot of Glocks, I mean, everybody agrees that they do run. They're made to point and shoot easy. That's why they're designed the way they are. But um, what purpose? I mean, would you buy that over
I think
19X?
I think a lot of people are going to use that for parts compatibility, and then also talking about the, being able to force multiply, because you can take that magazine, you can put them in PC9s, you can do all that type of stuff. The guide rod for that system is the same as it is in that 19, that Gen 5 19. So, you're able to switch around different parts and use some of the standardized parts already in place, and that's a selling point at a time. We just left where parts were limited. Back if you go back to the pandemic and the unrest, the first two things that flew off the shelves were parts for Glocks and AR-15s, and then the Glocks and AR-15s themselves.
Yes.
And that's a very big selling point for that type of firearm still today. But I mean, I think the very limited market for that is the people that want what they originally wanted with basically a long slide Glock 19 for concealed carry purposes. And I think that was what originally created that. And then, like I said, the Border Patrol, if it was indeed the Border Patrol, they wanted that as a contract gun to be able to interchange parts.
Well, and someone who's wanting to upgrade, from their older Glock 17. I
Sure.
mean, this is a perfect transition because it's still about that same size. But now you've got the optic cut and some other features that are on the newer pistols. And it's great. It comes with 3 magazines. Glock's version of an assisted loader. We won't call it
Yeah.
a speed loader, but it's Glock's version of that. It's a good pistol.
And at the end of the day, it runs. It shot well for me. I mean,
yeah.
I couldn't tell the real difference between my 19 and the 47. And Joe said it's a Glock. So, and that's all you can say. It's a Glock. They work.
Well, and it gives everybody that's moving toward red dots, which is most of the firearms industry.
Yep.
You do have that capability straight out of the box. So I mean, with that MOS system, most plates, I think even micro red dots can fit those now. So it's a great gun. It's just it really depends on what you're in the market for. When you compare that to other striker fired firearms, I do think there's some improvements that some companies have made. And when you get to comparing for like a pure target pistol, you have to modify a Glock quite a bit, unless you're a very unusual individual. Most people can't take that and shoot in a bullseye match and be very, very competitive.
But that's not what it was intended for.
Exactly. Most people would have to modify it. Like I said with mine, I've got a trigger in, I've got different sights, I've got a weight that goes on the front of the firearm to help with any kind of muzzle climb. And like Joe said, though, it's not exactly what it's designed for. Police, by and large, love a Glock because
Sure.
their life have depended on it for so many years.
So you guys have to make your decision about it. Come on in to Center Target Firearms and Indoor Range where we have these, and you can check out the large variety of Glocks, and you make the choice for yourself if this is right for you, or the 19 or the 17 is right for you. That's a great thing about any of the firearms we carry here. And the Glock line we have here, you get to make the choice. So you find out what you're looking for. Come on by, check out our website for all the great things going on here. We have Truth and Targets first Saturday of
First
each
Saturday
month,
each month, right?
which is a great thing. We
Yes.
have our concealed carry classes running. We have a ladies concealed carry class coming
Absolutely.
up, and of course our girl with a gun
Girl and a Gun, yep.
program.
Girl and
A
Gun
lot
program.
of stuff. I had a note and I lost it. Honestly, I had a note of the dates, but we lost it. So check out our website, our Facebook page. All the information's on there. A lot of great things happening here. Come on and see. The guys here are really knowledgeable. I don't know how many times I've asked Joe a question. No question stupid. He shakes his head at me every once in a while, but
No, I don't. No, I
he
don't.
doesn't. But I mean, come on by. Knowledgeable staff here. I mean, they really, really are. So come on by and check them out. Please like and subscribe. Sam, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
in.
yes, sir.
We got to
Yes, sir.
have you back. We got to have you back.
I'll be happy to come back. Like I said, I've known Joe for years, and most of the staff, and I do come in and try to compete sometimes on some of these competitions. Like I said, it's a great group of people, and I do enjoy coming over. I'm not always going to be the expert to have on the microphone, but I do like Glock, and I know enough to get by on the Glock. So
That's all. The big thing is about great thing with Joe working his former corrections officer. He can give his insight on them, and all this, and everybody here is knowledgeable. So that's a good thing. But please, guys, like and subscribe to our videos and hit that notification bell. And we're going to let these guys. We're going to show some footage. These guys shooting this and see what you think. We'll see you next week.